Let's talk a little preseason hockey because I don't know what the hell to make of it. So the Leafs and the Oilers look good in preseason. The Habs are scoring less than 6-0 in high school until their final game when they bury 9. You didn't think you would go after my head like that and I wouldn't fire back. What do you take from preseason? Is there anything to take from preseason?
Yes, we hate it, and it's over.
So, no.
It's like they shouldn't even open it to the public, let alone sell tickets.
Behind closed doors,
I mean, Matthews, Laine, Yamamoto are leading. Like that's a pretty good leading goal scorer list for preseason hockey.
Open it to the public.
Yes. Yeah. Listen, it serves different purposes for different individuals, different players. Sometimes you can read too much into it, and other times you can read a lot into it. And I think it's the case for the Montreal Canadiens that outside of the net, they're leaking some oil, and it's a good thing that Jonathan Drouin's around, and he showed that he's an elite player the last few games. But outside of that, I worry about who's going to create the offense. Shea Weber, of course, still a great player, but 2017 and 2018, he's not your prototypical defenseman that can play east-west as well as north-south. So that they're in for a challenge. Toronto and Edmonton, they're trending upward. Ottawa, I don't know whether or not they can go to the next level. I don't know where they are with their internal salary cap. Kyle Turris, if they sign Kyle Turris and they're real committed to him, it shows me that they still want to go to the next level opposed to just kind of hanging on for dear life. And we know the challenges in Vancouver. Calgary's expected to go places. That's why they went out and got Yager for added offense. It'll be intriguing as early as tomorrow night.
Let's talk about tomorrow night. Jets and Leafs, first of the double dip tomorrow. Both teams can score. We know that. Yeah. Kipper, which team do you think will make the biggest improvement defensively between the two this season?
Well, so much talk about the Leafs and their offense, but not enough about the ability to keep the puck out of their net. And for 2 years in a row, Babcock's had goals against average in the bottom third of the league. And if that doesn't improve, then the Leafs can't really legitimately challenge for a conference final or even a Stanley Cup final. That has to get better. Winnipeg, for me, it's about discipline. It's about staying out of the penalty box. It's about your best players leading the way. So that's where Byfuglien is going to have to find a way to not lose his temper and take bad penalties. He has to set the tone early. And if that's the case, then their goals against average will come down by a lot.
I look at the Winnipeg Jets kind of the way I looked at Calgary last year, and that is if they get some goaltending, this is a playoff team. Would you agree?
100%. And Mason has shown long stretches in Philly where he can win 8-10 games in a row and look great. And then when he's cold, he is like an iceberg. And that can't happen. I don't think Winnipeg can challenge for a playoff spot in a very competitive Western Conference if he's hot and cold. So Mason's going to have to go to a next level, and then they're going to have to do it collectively with 5 guys in their own zone. But they've got some nice pieces there. I like Scheifele a lot to lead the way. Nick Ehlers is a dynamic player, much like Jonathan Drouin. He's got the ability to score. They got some nice pieces, and Patrick Laine is close as maybe a Mike Bossy that we've seen in quite a long time.
High praise. Edmonton Flames back into the double dip tomorrow. What's the ceiling for the Oilers, Kipper, realistically this season?
Yeah, right now I think conference final I think is realistic, but you know they're going to have to leave Draisaitl in the middle. If they start losing some offense outside of McDavid and Draisaitl, then it's going to force his hand to put him back on the wing. Right now, if you look at that right side, it's just not good enough for people to think that they can go to a Stanley Cup final. Yamamoto's been a nice story, but are they counting on him to score right away? You know, Kajula has to score 20 or 25 goals. Lucic, it's a given, and Maroon that they got to score 25 or 30 goals. And some people think, hey, maybe they won't be able to get to that level again this year. So scoring on the wings will be the biggest challenge for the Oilers.
I already brought it up, so I got to ask you with less than a minute left, is Mike Smith the answer to the Calgary goaltending woes?
I like Mike Smith. I think he's a battler. I think he's a compete guy. He's had a lot of shots, a lot of attention with the Coyotes, but this is a different feel here. So he's not gonna be as busy as he's been in the last few years, and it's just a matter of when he's inactive, how much can he stay in the game, because he likes to feel the puck. He wants to handle the puck. He wants to be involved. We'll know in the first 2 weeks for sure whether or not Mike Smith's ready for this challenge. But I like him. I love his compete.
Whether it's in Nick's garage in the summer or his beautiful den
right
in the cooler
backyard.
months.
We were in the backyard too.
Oh, the backyard shot. I can't forget about that. It was a great shot. We always appreciate you dropping by, Kipper. Thanks, brother.
All right. Have a great start to the season, boys.
You too.
You too. You too.